Maybe this will work this time. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Let's see if anybody. I like how it says times three. That's great. Let's try this one more time. Holy crap! I am heard. Yay! Success. It only takes a tech support to terribly troubleshoot something, whatever. I don't care anymore. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that I am live, and I hope that people are enjoying the stream when it gets to the 30-minute mark because I can't have any point of comparison at the time considering I just started. Yeah, I know. Ramble. So, who's caught up on the Expanse? Like not today, like from last week back. That show was pretty awesome. I Okay, I got people reaching out to me saying they can't hear me, but you can hear me now. I get entirely too excited with this type of stuff. It's weird. Um, but we'll see. And please, chat, say something, anything. Because the whole purpose of going live is to talk to people, and I can't talk to people if I get nothing. 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 Oh, okay. Yay. Okay. So I did take a little bit of a hiatus, and rightfully so, even though I'm pretty sure that I will be vehemently disagreed with later on when the live stream ends. However, I do have some pretty cool stuff coming up. So I decided to make a bracket for Disney princesses. What does that mean? What's on my hoodie? It's a exercise because I love my T Rex hoodie. So basically, it's a versus for Disney princess versus Disney princess. The guidelines are this: does the Disney princess drive her own movie? As in, she is steering the boat, she is going across past the reef, and she is having a grand old time. Or is she just pulled along by circumstances because of whatever reasons? What am I working on? I mean, are we talking about sewing things? I got some of these done. These, and I have a pile of fabric on the floor, which I finally decided is going to be my corset fabric. I know it only took me all month. Um, I have some patches that I have to add to my jacket, and I got We Are Band Nerds. I pulled my Diva patch off of my beer shirt and my Mischief Managed. So that's currently on slate, and I have like 5 paintings to finish. So that is currently what's on deck. And to be fair, I have picked out the type of corset I want to do. However, I recognize that it is the end of the month. So technically, I'm not late yet. But I mean, I picked up my fabric and I didn't have to buy it. I just have to pick up some boning, and I think that's about it because I think I have canvas. Um, as well as some other stuff that I'm working on. By the way, just to fill the rest of y'all in, so Beth and I are working on a corset. We decided that we were going to make a corset together in January. However, that's still in progress with me. Like she's doing this badass job with hers, and I'm like, it's like crickets, crickets, crickets. Yeah, it's pretty terrible. I admit. But with that being said, I'm also of the, well, I got this far with it and I feel all right. So I'm gonna just keep going with it and work with what I got. I actually need to order some steel boning, but I am going to just work on what I have in the meantime. Get all up, like, so. I thought about just kind of soloing it and not going with a pattern. That feels like such a terrible idea because I've done that once in the last few months and it didn't really turn out that great. So yeah. Um. Anyway, but enough about me. And yes, I'm aware it's the 27th. But January has 31 days. So you know what that means. We got one, two, three, four more days until the end of the month. How freaking cool is that? Four. Fine, I'll use a pattern. You ain't gotta call me out on it. so, um, so that's 4 days. Yes, I'll go find a pattern. I mean, I I too like living on the edge, but you know what? The 31st is a pretty awesome day. So there's this chick I know who is pretty awesome, and her birthday's on the 31st, and I lost her once on a boat, but I found her later. So that's pretty awesome. She's awesome. There's so many people to tag, and I can't bring up people's names. It's so crazy. I guess it would help if I actually spelled their names right. There we go. All right. Now that I got a perfect link, I can like go and tag other people. Start and finish a. Look, we said we were going to start. There was never, 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 never any indication of an end date. So technically, as long as I start at about 11:58 on the 31st p.m., then theoretically I am still holding up my part of the bargain. Just saying. But no, I'm actually going to start pretty soon. Yes. So here, so here's the getting lost story. So I was getting on cruise ship rock, and I saw this chick. I was like, man, she looks like she's by herself. So let me go introduce myself because I'm on this bitch by myself. Why not? So I go and talk to her, and I'm like, yeah, it's like the whole adopting a newbie thing, and technically I was a noob last year. Blah 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 blah. And so it's like, cool. We board. We get on, and the first place is the third level atrium or whatever. Not the atrium. Yeah, I think it's the atrium. So we walk in. I turned this way. I'm guessing she went that way, and I didn't see her again. It was great. What about the surgers? What surgers? Why are we bringing up surgers? Like, what reason do we have to bring up surgers? Yes, the surger is working. I Okay, so fair enough. I have not adjusted the tension on the surger just yet. Um, and well, whatever. It'll get where it needs to be. Fine, I'll work on it tomorrow. But yes, I did see her at live band karaoke. Getting back to my story, and the reason why I got distracted on Shiprock was because I got invited to a wedding. Did I know the people? Did I know the person who was inviting me? He was like, "Hey, be my date," and I'm like, "Okay, sure." Who are you? I don't know you. I don't know you at all. But and so my RBF is sitting in somebody's wedding photos. Even though I was actually smiling for them, but I guess I smiled internally. So therefore they didn't really get to see my happiness for them. That's fine. I mean, it was sunny. It was really sunny. And I had some shades on. I looked like a rejected FBI agent. It was great. So I know I'm supposed to tag some other people, and I'm trying to. Oh, okay. I'm making it down the list because people, for some reason, like me. So yay. Um, I appreciate y'all liking me. It makes my day or my week or my year, however it is that Um. Oh, okay. I'm tagging all these random people, and I'm like, where are they? Oh yeah, I gotta get my spring chicken on here too. My spring chicken is a friend of mine from Alabama. He's awesome. As soon as there he is. There he is. But anyway, enough about me. Actually, um, so yeah, so I actually have my Disney versus Disney, and so far, the only person that is advanced from a favorable position is Moana on my bracket list. But I have thoughts about her movie and whether or not she takes along pushes along the story. I personally don't believe she's the lead person in her own story. I will argue with you on this. Make no mistake. So I uh I decided to have I had a couple throwaways too, like Anna from Frozen and Kita. That's really no contest right there. I mean, Anna, the only thing that she did was like rind sandwiches with some guy, and she was fairly pointless. But uh, that, and I am finally going to release my who wants to be a Disney princess episode. But it's not that that's what it's called, but it's more or less a breakdown of who's actually a Disney princess versus who is not. Again, this is one of those I will argue with you all day, make a cup of coffee, we are going to be here a while type of things. There is also the because a lot of people have this misconception that just because Disney owns an IP makes them uh, whatever female character, strong female lead character, a Disney princess. And I'm sorry, that is not the case. I am going to pull your nerd card on this. I don't do that often, but I will. Like, for example, Princess Leia. She's not a Disney princess. Ariel is a Disney princess. Even though I think that she's the biggest brat out there, she's still one. Because, Disney princesses have a certain criteria, and one of the main criteria being that has to be from an animated movie. Animated. They have to be color and drawn or 3D. Yes, Dr. Frankenfurter is not a Disney princess. And I mean, let's be honest, this character would want to be a princess anyway. But so, because, oh come on, he absolutely would not be wanting to be a Disney princess, a Disney queen, maybe, not a princess. Because let's be honest, he seems like the type of person, or it was just more or less a pull rank type of situation where why be a princess when you can be a queen? Seriously. Queen has more standing, has more rank. A queen can literally tell a princess what to do. Like Elsa in Frozen. She could literally tell Anna, yeah, go away. And she would have no choice but to obey the queen because she's the queen. Why not? Again, I will argue all day about this. So actually, no, I won't argue all day about it. I will actually argue with you about like 10 minutes, and then we'll go and do something that's somewhat productive on in life. But with that being said, it is a topic that I am actually very passionate about, strangely enough. I don't understand why, because these are fictional characters who have no bearing on my personal life. But I guess that's the case with literally everything that's in my life. Princess, yeah, I guess a princess does have more leeway than a queen. Like, I get it. Princess can go out and run and try to marry a guy that she only met like 5 minutes ago. I get it. I mean, when you're a queen, you can't really do all that because you're too busy dealing with court and whatnot. And yeah, But I mean, honestly, I'd prefer to be a Disney queen over a princess because let's be honest, your outfits are so much better. And on top of that, you get less screen time, which means that less people know what you're doing. So if you're like an evil queen, then that works out. Cause see, I would probably be an evil queen. Like, no joke. Like you give me a position of power and I'm probably going to be like a dictator at that point. I will say you do this way. Oh no, the plants are facing the wrong way. Turn them around or else. I don't know what that or else would be, but I'm pretty sure I could figure it out. So, but yeah, that's pretty much on deck with also the Expanse rewatch. Like I wanted to start talking about it from first episode because I think that there is a better what's the word I'm looking for? I think that examining a any type of show from the beginning is a lot better than jumping into it in the middle or even at the end because then you have so much backstory to explain. And because after all, if I'm watching a video on The Expanse and I'm watching it on the latest episode, not today's episode, but last week's episode, and I wanted to give an analysis on why I thought it was the best thing ever, well, then I have to make a 10-minute journey to some backstory about, well, this happened and this happened and this happened. Not to mention, if anybody's like brand new at the show, then theoretically I won't be spoiling anything for them because at that point I'm starting from the beginning and if I manage to rewatch with videos and everything else before they get finished, then that is on them and that is not me. Like at all. Yes, I want to paint the roses red. Actually, I don't know, like don't get me wrong, I like roses. I just don't like them red. Like red roses to me are kind of lame and overplayed to be honest. It's like everybody want like for Valentine's Day specifically. Oh, you're gonna get 10 dozen red roses. It's like okay, but red is boring. Give me some pink, some yellows. Give me some white. Give me anything else but red. I mean, hell, let's be honest. If they had a neon green rose, I would absolutely love it, and I would want like the entire house filled with neon green roses. Because why not? But yeah. Ah, let's see here. Okay, cool. I had some notifications pop up and I wanted to address them so that way, mainly because I really wasn't. What if you're Queen of Hearts? Okay, but see, here's the thing with being a Queen of Hearts, though. Yeah, I get it's red. I get she's red. She loves red. She loves red roses. But if I'm the Queen of Hearts, I would. I mean, I guess, but I mean, it's kind of lame a little bit. I don't know. Queen of Hearts had some issues, but funny enough, I actually started watching rewatching Alice in Wonderland, the cartoon, and in the first 5 minutes, I noticed something I've never actually picked up, which is kind of funny because it's talking about like there's the part of the movie where the sister is reading a book. And I mean, literally like the first couple minutes, and she mentions it's almost like she was talking about like the English Civil War. Because I heard like, oh, the Earl of Umbria, and I'm like, wait a minute, I know that word. Let me look it up. Oh, that's what she's talking about. And so found the title of the book that she could have been reading, and I think I'm going to actually try to read it because it sounds kind of interesting. It's like English Civil War. You hear some character talking about it in Alice in Wonderland, and then because it kind of gives you a mindset of what was happening in that time period, because even though we have costumes, we don't really actually get an accurate understanding of what the time period was in Alice in Wonderland. So it'd be kind of interesting because if, let's just say, the English are talking about like a civil war or one of the history books in their society at the time, big that were big at the time, was talking about the English Civil War and combining the costumes, but we don't really get any indication of, well, let's see, when it was. Let's look it up because Google is great. It says Alice is a fictional child living through the middle of the Victorian era. Uh, so it looks like 1865 on the 4th of May, which I guess makes sense because she does mention her birthday, which is November 4th. So halfway to her birthday is probably, yeah, May 4th. So, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, that I just learned a lot more about Alice in Wonderland than I intended to this in the last 2 minutes. So, yay! But quite frankly, looking at like a lot of these Disney movies early on, and really understand, like looking at it from the perspective of an adult, it's kind of like, oh, this is interesting. And I just remembered, let there be more light and less light. I'm a complete professional. So, but yeah, the whole premise of Alice in Wonderland though it's kind of interesting, and also you want to know like how many drugs were involved with making that movie. I mean, I'm not saying that people in the 50s didn't have an imagination, but it's kind of hard to believe that they would come up with a caterpillars on a sitting on a mushroom smoking a hookah, and they're like super straight laced. That's just not a thing. I'm sorry. I was like, do you know old people? Because I know old people. And well, I guess, maybe they had like other hallucinogens and stuff that they were all into back then, but I don't know. But that, and I'm still going to be doing more of my insight checks. So if you have any characters that are fictional that you would like for me to do an examination of, and also their D&D alignment, I am more than happy to check it out. Right now, I actually have an ongoing list of people that I am working on, and since you are live, I get to share this with you. Okay. If I can find it. I mean, I just found my grocery list. So I guess that's something. Um, hmm. Oh, that's because it's not in this document. This is my. I actually made a Google Doc on it. Yay. Okay. So, alignment charts. Here we go. So, like, I have a couple of characters for lawful good. And those characters are like Bolin from Legend of Korra and Kamina Drama from The Expanse. And I go in to basically talk about like why they are who they are, just based on their character and what their character's choices are. Uh, and like I actually have for complete neutral, like no chaotic or anything like that, I have Dominique Cobb from Inception. If you don't remember who that is, it's basically Leonardo DiCaprio's character. I have Mai from Avatar: The Last Airbender. I have Bronn from Game of Thrones, although admittedly enough, I think that he's more of a chaotic neutral, so I'm gonna have to really revisit that. But then I don't know. That's one of those I actually have a question mark by. And Nadir from Community. I mean, I think that though that's a good working list of like true neutral. The and I try my best not to discuss characters that I don't have like a full complete show start to finish or end or movie start to finish, just because I need to make sure that yeah, they might be one direction in the first movies, but in the second and third movies, they might be deviate from who they are, which indicates either a writer's choice of doing something a little bit different, or you also have, quite frankly, certain things that happen within stories that would cause a character to deviate. Like, for example, in my D&D group, my character is a lawful good soldier, drunken monk. I mean, not drunken monk. Oh god, that was like my first campaign. It's amazing how like my characters are very alcohol centric. Um, Dwarf barbarian, and my character has died a couple of times in the story. So now it's like, okay, well, does my character make a different choice? Like my character was literally faced with destruction. Would my character make a different choice in a different scenario? And so, which is why I like to try to give like a holistic perspective on whether or not somebody is true neutral, chaotic good, or whatever, based on all of the everything in a series. Because at that point you have a start, you have a finish, and you basically can kind of watch a character's journey. So if they are true neutral, but then they start deviating towards chaotic neutral, then at that point I would place them in the more of a chaotic neutral. Because once you're at that point, once you've made that decision to deviate, then you don't really go back to that who you were originally, because your character at that point grew. Character development and all that jazz. Um, you know, yes, I'm an English major, and yes, or I guess I was an English major because I'm not in school, and I try to not be too nuanced on language and choices or whatever, but I am. So judge me all you like, just as long as you click that like and subscribe button. Speaking of, uh, one of the things that sucks the most though about like having a YouTube channel and using your phone as a primary recorder, or like point of recording, is that one, your phone can only get to 98 degrees Fahrenheit. This I learned recently. And two, with the space constraint, because my phone is capped at 64 gigs. So in theory, I could make an entire 30-minute video, but I would not want to record 30 minutes worth of video on my camera, mainly because that's just silly. It's pointless, and my phone is going to but not only overheat, but then I have to worry about it backing up to Google as well as Dropbox and every other little cloud thing I have. So that's been interesting, but I did learn that I can turn my actual like DSLR into a webcam, which is great. So I'm like, ooh, I can get like professional with this shit, as you can see by my very brand new tripod behind me. By the way, that thing is cool as hell. I made a video about bacon. So I put it on like Facebook as a, this is it's like take a break, bacon break. Let's all center around bacon. But then I actually on TikTok, I actually put it to music, sped it up, and was just overall like just silly with it. And I'm like, huh. So not that I'm gonna have a series on bacon, but it was more or less just kind of like I could do this with my tripod. Great. So I've actually been working on my future cosplay, which I don't think I can show you on this screen. And I'm not going to do the very old boomer thing and put my cell phone up to the webcam, because that's just silly. You'll just have to, I'll have to just post it later at some point. I just, I mean, I could, but it just seems kind. It's almost like when you tell somebody to take a screenshot of something and then they take a picture with their cell phone on their monitor, and I I get a little judgy. So I don't want to have to judge myself, because I will absolutely judge myself for doing that, and I will encourage anybody else to judge me for doing that as well. But even though like Dragon Con is still kind of up in the air, I figured I'd get a good start on my thing, because I've dealt with stress and sewing, and quite frankly, that doesn't really work out for me. Like, it's unfortunate that it doesn't, because you see all these like little Project Runway shows and everything, and you're like, oh my god, they only have 8 hours to sew an entire outfit, and then you look at I look at myself and my projects and think, man, I completely said I'd be good on that show, but I don't think I'm going to be good on that show at all. It's like, matter of fact, I am not going to be at a point where I can ever sew under stress. Frankly, I think that I'm too old for it. I'm not that old, but I do think that at some level in your life that unnecessary stress is not necessarily a good thing. Uh, Not to mention, I had several panic attacks about that finishing on time for that dress, and it wasn't fun. I'll never do that again. Which is why the earlier conversation about not having a pattern, me trying to wing a corset on a pattern is just without a pattern is just not going to work at all. I mean, I'm gonna have fun laughing at myself, but it ain't gonna happen like at no level. So, but at the very least, I have something to work on. I have a mannequin that is sitting naked, ready and waiting for me to dress it, and I have my new sewing set up. So I have my serger and my regular machine. I actually found a machine at Goodwill for like $15, but the only problem is it does not go in reverse. So that's going to be one of those things that I'm going to have to get fixed, I guess, at some point. Uh, I mean, $15 and paying $100 to get it fixed is still not a bad investment because I'm still coming out ahead. And it's not a new machine, but it's a machine that could probably handle a little bit more heavy duty stuff than normal machine like normal machines nowadays that are like part plastic and part metal. So, and also, I will reach out to like people and see like if they would like for me to talk about like certain things, because quite frankly, like I can get into some weird segues with some of the stuff that I'm interested in, and even though I know those segues are pretty good for viewership, I do also understand that if you go too far on the edge of things, people are like, "What's wrong with you?" Oh, yeah, I guess technically, I wasn't supposed to say that because it's YouTube, but whatever, it doesn't matter. I could turn the work. Probably. But I well, the corset thing is a pattern. I am going to make myself a hoodie. So I made myself a hoodie earlier in, well, the middle of last year. And just like my hoodies, I can't find it. So it's like, oh, so you created and disappeared just like that. I'm like, wonderful. It's like, I guess it went to the place that my other hoodies are residing, which is great. But it's fine. I mean, after all, it's like if I can sew 100 hoodies, they can't all go missing, right? Right? Oh, yeah. I guess I could do that. I thought you were talking about something else, but I guess that I misinterpreted it now. But yeah, I guess I could technically turn the work, but I'll level with you. My eyesight is not that great, and I would really, really hate to track down stitches because I've been trying to do more matching of colors, and yeah, I'll be honest, I don't know how some people do this. It's like well into their 60s and 70s. Like, I think it's wonderful that there are like a lot of older people that sew, but holy crap. Like, it's like at some point, it's like, don't you just start confusing the lines and the fabric? And now I'm going to be one of those people that are like old as shit trying to sew things. So that's going to be fun. And one other thing that I have been working on is I started live streaming gaming. So I started playing a lot of Smite lately, and if you aren't familiar with Smite, it's kind of like a World of Warcraft, League of Legends, more or less in like the multiplayer, player versus player type of situation. And I think it's a lot of fun. So I am gonna get some of those streams up because, quite frankly, I forgot how good I am. Light and magnifying glasses. Yeah, I guess people use those things. I'm not a real big fan of the whole light thing. I'm an emo sewer. I was like so in the dark. All I need now, well, I guess I do wear all black a lot. Great. I'm gonna be called the emo sewer. That's awesome. Speaking of that, sewer versus sewist and things like that, I've decided that I do not want to be called a seamstress. I do not want to be called a sewer or a so sewist. I want to be called DJ Lycra because I make booty shorts. I'm awful. I know. I'm sorry. I'm serious about the DJ Lycra though. I was actually thinking about changing my shop name to that on Etsy just because that's a lot more fun than just using like Lana 6. And it's like, I was like, okay, but what do you make? But my goal is to actually make like rape gear because I like rape gear. It's awesome. It's so colorful. I know that coming from the person that's wearing black, the irony, right? But the okay, cool. Just checking my messages. I'm make sure I still got zero. I'm all right with that. But going back to whatever topic it was that oh yes, the emo seamstress. Yeah, I could totally see myself doing that. I mean, it's not like I already don't listen to like My Chemical Romance and All Time Low and all these other random emo bands. While so I guess that would just be part for the course. But I do appreciate y'all hanging out with me tonight, and I'll be uploading a video on Sunday, so make sure you check it out. Thank you for joining in, and I appreciate y'all. All right.